Worcester on Tuesday, July 19th. Experience a historic night as WWE SmackDown will be televised live. Be there to witness the event that will change the landscape of WWE forever.
There will be unique superstars for both Raw and SmackDown.
It's the WWE Draft, and John Cena battles AJ Styles live. Plus, don't miss WWE World Heavyweight Champion Dean Ambrose. It's WWE SmackDown, Tuesday, July 19th. Tickets and ringside packages are available.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans from around the corner, around the world, welcome to a special installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, joined by my sidekick, fresh off the plane from Florida, Mr. Dave Carter. Dave, pleasure to have you back here in the, well, not so broadcast booth.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are in a parking garage leaving WWE Monday Night Raw from the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, on MWF Junior Ambassador Devon Brent's 11th birthday, also the birthday of our dear friend Uncle Al Snow out in Louisville. I'm sure his best friend Quincy is working on a special gift for him this week. That's a different story for a different time. I have to say the crowd tonight for Raw was absolutely electric. It was one of the more exciting TV tapings I've been to in years. It kind of brought back, and I wouldn't go all the way towards the Attitude Era, but it certainly had that kind of buzz to it.
I definitely agree. That crowd was loud, and they were definitely anxious to see the return of Daniel Bryan.
Well, from start to finish, let's check it out for the WWE Superstars taping. You'll see this week on WWE Network, Summer Rae with a win over Alicia Fox. I don't know what the finish was. It was rather odd looking, but that's the Superstars version of women's wrestling. And then you had a great tag team match. You could call it a rematch from WrestleMania when you saw the Usos team up to defeat the Superstars-ridden Dudley Boys.
Yeah, I think the Dudley Boys, it was a loud match, especially when the Dudley Boys teased getting the tables. They slammed down the ring apron, and the crowd went loud, got loud for it. I think it was definitely a great match.
The crowd still loves the retro act that the Dudleys are. They love Get the Tables. And what do you do when the crowd's chanting tables? To get the fans to turn up the heat a little on them, you tease the tables, you think you're going to get the tables, and in the end you get nothing.
Totally agree. That's exactly what you do. And they were very loud about it, giving them back the business.
And then on to Monday Night Raw. The big segment opened the show, the big segment of the night. Shane McMahon, the commissioner of SmackDown, introduced his general manager. The commissioner of Raw, Stephanie McMahon, introduced her general manager first. And it was none other than Mick Foley, a man we've seen here in the MWF in the past.
Yeah, Mick Foley came looking good, slim. He looked really good. The crowd loved it. And I thought it was great to see him back. It makes sense with his new network show, Holy Foley, having him back in the mix as the GM. I think it's going to be great.
Now, you think Mick Foley looked good?
Yes, totally. You didn't think so?
He reminded me of a guy named Tom Orr on a show named Mountain Men.
Yeah, the beard's getting out of hand, but I think he looks good. What did he weigh, about 282 before? Now he's probably down to 250.
He was a lot more than 282 or whatever you just said, but good for him health-wise. It's fantastic to lose the weight. It's like the head's just a little bit bigger than the body.
I totally agree. He does got that big, huge head, but I don't know. I think he looked good.
That was sort of the surprise of the night, and what wasn't a giant surprise to a lot of the folks. Shane McMahon named his general manager, and yet another man we've seen here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation before, former world champion Daniel Bryan, will be on SmackDown every week.
And I think that's great. Everybody anticipated it, and I think it was awesome. The crowd was loud for him, and it was like when you seen him come out, you just felt that he deserved to be there, and I think that's great for SmackDown. I think he'll definitely bring a new audience. The old audience that left because he was gone, he'll bring a new audience in because he's the underdog story.
Crowd was hot. I mean, the crowd was hot. That segment reminded me of something from the late 90s. That Providence crowd was hot. I keep saying hot over and over again. I don't know how else to describe it other than the crowd was really pumped up, and it was great to experience. Sometimes you go to the TV tapings, the folks are behind the fans, the superstars they like, but this just had a whole rhyme and reason to it tonight.
I totally agree. I don't know how many people can actually fit in that building, but that building sounded like there was 30, 40,000 people in there. It was loud. It was crazy. Fans had signs, chants. It was a great night of wrestling.
It was a true legitimate sellout. You couldn't get a seat.
Oh, I totally agree. No covers on any of the seats. It was literally jammed to the rafters.
And it's certainly an event where the fans got value for their dollar. I know in tag team action, you had a great opening matchup, even though it was a half an hour into the show. It was Sami Zayn and Cesaro with the win over Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it was a good match. Just a roll-up finish, but I think it was definitely a good match. I mean, I always love seeing Jericho. He's very entertaining, and that little thing that Kevin Owens and Jericho has going on is definitely fun. And Cesaro, he's a Swiss Superman. He's great.
I like that WWE seems to be rallying behind Cesaro a little bit more than they had in recent years even. I think Cesaro has got a lot of potential to be a top-of-the-card guy. He's got great size. He's outstanding in the ring match for match. Sami Zayn's look, I think it takes away from his wrestling ability. That's just one man's opinion. I know there's a lot of Sami Zayn fans out there, but I really enjoy the chemistry between Owens and Jericho, even though both are villains right now.
Totally agree. Sami Zayn, the cab driver, but you know what? He shows it off in the ring, so he can be a cab driver or whatever, but his ability in the ring is amazing. So I'm cool with whatever he wears to the ring, honestly, like you said.
And did that already lead into the big 12-man tag team match, or was there a matchup before that? I know the first 90 minutes of Raw was...
we had Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, that's right. Alberto Del Rio, my least favorite guy on the WWE roster. I still don't get it, other than the fact that he's a tall man, an athletic man, but he doesn't resonate with the fans tonight. And it would certainly have to be an upset. Alberto Del Rio loses to Darren Young, who had Bob Backlund in his corner. And I tell you, I don't know how great Darren Young was to begin with, but Bob Backlund's rub is certainly making him greater than he was during his first run in WWE.
Well, first off, I love Alberto Del Rio. I think WWE's not using him right. And he also lost because The Miz got up on the ring apron with a roll-up. I think ADR is definitely one of the best talents they have on the roster. I just think he hasn't been pushed the right way. But don't get me wrong, Darren Young and Bob Backlund has been gold. I love it. I totally think it's great. I would have never picked the two between Titus and him, but I'm glad they're doing it with Darren Young. And I think you're going to see a new Intercontinental Champion.
I'd love to know the backstory on how Bob Backlund came into the picture to be with Darren Young. Whoever in the WWE creative department came up with that one deserves a pat on the back, because it's done something great for Darren Young, no pun intended, and it's given Bob Backlund another chance with the company, a great opportunity for a man to earn an income in the industry he spent so much time of in his life.
I totally agree, and I definitely would love to know the backstory on that too, because Bob Backlund is definitely a good ham in the WWF, so I would definitely love to know.
What do you think is being done wrong with Alberto Del Rio? I've got to hear this, because I have my feelings, and they're very strong about that Alberto.
All right, first you bring him in with Zeb Coulter. That goes over terribly. That didn't make any sense. Then you got the Mex America. Terrible. Then you have him with the League of Nations. Didn't make any sense. How come you don't give a guy that can speak, that's a great heel on the mic, and let him do his thing? Let him be a tongue speak. I honestly haven't heard him speak since he was in the League of Nations, actually have a good promo. He never gets to talk. All he does is go out and wrestle, like you just said. I think if they give him a chance, give him an opportunity to be a real heel, and, let him speak on the mic, I think he can be great, because he's definitely got attributes in the ring to make him one of the best.
No, Bob Backlund is not going to make Alberto Del Rio great again. No one is going to make Alberto Del Rio great again, because he was never great. Again, he's a fine technician. He's got little charisma, little personality. He's what I would describe as a good hand. I know some might disagree with that. I don't think he's a top guy. He never deserved top billing in WWE. Never deserved to be a world champion in a way a world champion should be looked at in 2016 or any of the years that he held it before. He's been a giant waste, in my opinion. I don't think the fans care or resonate when he left. I don't think they care or resonate now that he's returned.
I mean, I stand by my opinion. I don't really have much more to say about it, because I think we're going to agree to disagree. That's all I have to say.
I think League of Nations was the worst faction in wrestling history.
Well, I think WWE let go of Wade Barrett. I think he was actually great in it too, but, I mean, I don't know. I honestly liked Albert Del Rio, and I still do. I just don't think the League of Nations was right for him.
I don't think the League of Nations was right for anything in professional wrestling. It bored me. All four of them were it wasn't the best utilization of their talents.
Totally agree. I think it was just something somebody thought, wrote up quick, and they were like, let's go with it, and turned over to be nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I should save this for a little. Take a left coming out of here if possible. I'm trying to think if I should. You know what? I'll get into it now. I think that Rusev was the one that really got hurt in the League of Nations because it took Lana away from him. It took away all the sizzle that he had at one point in WWE, and now they're trying to reclaim that, which is also a good thing. And that led to a hellacious 12-man tag team contest. It was the team of AJ Styles, the Club, and all three members of the Wyatt family defeating John Cena, Enzo Amore, Big Cass, WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day.
It was definitely a great match. Everybody got their stuff in. I never got bored with the match. It was great. Everybody had their own sequence of moves. It was definitely a great match. I loved it. And it was very entertaining. You didn't get bored with it. The crowd was hot the whole time. It was great.
I think it was almost to perfection because they didn't do too much. They didn't do too little. It was like it was timed just right for all 12 men. I hate the term everybody got their stuff in, even though it's common in the world of professional wrestling. But everybody got key spots in. Everybody looked good at one point or another. You teased the big spot between Cass and Braun Strowman, which I certainly I would not want to see in singles match form in 2016. But AJ Styles comes away with the pinfall win over Enzo Amore, headed into the six-man tag team matchup at Battleground Sunday night.
Yes, and I thought it was good. I thought the way they ended it was great. And it was exciting. It was exciting throughout the match, and it was good to see AJ get that because at Battleground, I don't know where they're going to go with that, but I have a feeling you're going to see John Cena and Enzo and Cass go over. But that all depends on the draft, too, and see where people are drafted. So, I don't know. But it was definitely a good match. Definitely for that many men in a match, I totally agree. It was great. It was definitely exciting.
Unbelievable. My sources tell me at exit 2A there is a McDonald's off of 95. I don't know if we're going to be hitting that, even though I am rather hungry after this hellacious 12-man tag team contest. I got to ask you, what did you think of the New Day and the Wyatt family feud leading up to Battleground with their encounter they had on, I don't know if it was the Wyatt family compound or if it had any kind of a precise name?
This is where I'm torn because I am a TNA guy too, and I hate saying it, but WWE, I think, ripped off the Final Deletion. I really do. The way it was set up and just the way they went about their business. Yes, it was better quality WWN, but they also have a lot more money than TNA, but it was definitely a rip-off of the Final Deletion. But I thought it was great. I honestly admit it was great. I thought it was definitely done well. It kept me entertained the whole time, and it was fun.
I liked how it was darker, how it was more serious. I like them as a dark brood. I don't like comedy with them. I'm very thankful WWE Creative hasn't done a heck of a lot of comedy with the Wyatt family. I think it's really given a little sizzle to both New Day and Wyatt family to give them both something fresh to do.
I totally agree. I think they should be a dark actor because I think Bray Wyatt is a genius on the mic, and he's better when he's talking that dark talk that he has, with all the lingo and everything. I think it's great for his character, and I think it'll help. I know you don't think he's ready, but Braun Strowman, I think him being with Bray will just help him get better in the ring and help him learn how to speak on a mic because we really haven't heard him talk much. And Eric Rowan is Eric Rowan, and when my guy comes back, Luke Harper, that is going to be unbelievable, that team, I think, if they do it right. Now, with the draft, you got to tell me, can they get separated or what?
The way I read it on WWE.com was that Bray Wyatt was available in the draft as a single, and then the team of Strowman and Rowan are available as a tag team unless the general manager chooses to split them up.
Well, could you see them just drafting Bray somewhere and then having them two together? I don't think they should do that at all. I think they need to stay together.
I think it would be a disaster if they split them up, again, in my opinion.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Problem with Strowman is he's got a great look. I mean, he's everything you'd look for in a heel, but he's almost like an action figure. When it comes to the in-ring talent, there really isn't a heck of a lot of substance to him other than his great presence inside the ring. I think he could have used a little bit more seasoning in NXT. To WWE's credit, they haven't put him in a lot of singles matches, if any, that I can think of on television. They've saved most of his in-ring work for the house shows.
I agree with that. I definitely do, but I can't see him in NXT. I think he's just doesn't fit their mold. I think he's right where he is, but I definitely agree. I'm glad that they haven't put him in a lot of matches, and if he is in matches, it's in the 3-ways and things like that. I totally agree with that.
12-man tag team matchup led to Baron Corbin. His light show is impressive when he comes out. I like the all-red screen and so on. Baron Corbin had the win over Sin Cara tonight on Raw.
I didn't see the match. I was up getting a drink, but what I did see is at the end, he definitely beat the crap out of
Sin Cara.
No, it was Sin Cara, but then he also beat up Kalisto after 2, left them both laying on the ground, one outside the ring, one inside the ring, but that's all I really seen of it. But to talk about Baron Corbin, I think he's great. I think he needs to put some muscle on, but I think he's great, and I think he's going to be a good talent if they keep on doing what he's doing there.
You know, I don't think Baron was necessarily piping hot ready to come up to WWE after WrestleMania. I love the fact that he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think that Battle Royal should be used to push new talent, similar to what the Royal Rumble could or would be used for if the title opportunity main event at WrestleMania wasn't a stipulation in that match. Just to see him lay out both of the Lucha Dragons, is he that much of a menace at this point?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think him winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I think that was good for him too. But like you said, I don't think he was totally ready to come up either. But they put him in that feud with Ziggler, which they fought, 10 times, 11 times? I mean, and then they have him do this. I mean, I guess he's going to see where he goes with the draft. I mean, that's where I think he's going to succeed, when could be one of the main guys on one of the brands. I'm saying he's going to go to SmackDown. I think that's where he'll succeed, because he'll be put on a main brand with not other, great talent where he won't be overlooked. Because I think right now he's getting overlooked. That's why he's wrestling guys like Sin Cara, Kalisto, and Ziggler 10 times.
He had quite a few matches with Ziggler. I think it was 3 pay-per-views in a row. They had some form of a matchup, whether it was on the main show or the pre-show matches. From there, we had some women's action, not Divas action, women's action. And I like how they're stressing that in the announcements. It was the duo of the WWE Women's Champion Charlotte and Dana Brooke defeating Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, Boston's own.
Well, all I got to say about it is they were big on this woman's hype. That match must have been maybe a minute and a half, and then Natty came out and attacked Becky Lynch. Me personally, I haven't seen a long match between any of the women's fighting for a long time now, and I don't understand why they're going that route. It was supposed to be this big thing, and now we see a minute on Raw for the women's. I don't know. I don't like it. I think you had 4 great talents in the ring that could have went for a while. Then you have Natty come out, but she came out right in the beginning of the match, attacked Becky. I don't know. I didn't really like that.
Well, they certainly had time to give the women or any of those shorter matches, considering the lengthy segments they had later on in the show. I like the Becky Lynch-Natalya feud. Hopefully they'll have a little bit of time when they finally have their comeuppance, whether it be on pay-per-view or on a TV show.
I totally agree. I think I'm digging the Natty character, her being a heel. I think she plays a great heel. And Becky needed something, because she's going to get lost in the shuffle between Charlotte and Sasha. So I think that's definitely money for Becky to be with Natty. Plus Natty will give her the rub, because I think that's what she needs. And I think they're definitely going to have a good feud.
From there, up next, I believe we had the WWE United States Champion Rusev teaming up with Sheamus. It was almost a, whoa, well, we got to watch those cones. It was a League of Nations reunion with Sheamus and Rusev defeating Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder in tag team action tonight.
I don't know. I mean, Ziggler, Ryder, I don't know. I feel like that was just a throwing match. I don't know. I love Sheamus, but I don't know. The match was all right. There was nothing that you go ooh-ah about or anything like that. But, I mean, I think it was like you said. They had plenty of time, so they just added another match on the card. I didn't see anything spectacular happen in that match at all.
Well, I'm a big Dolph Ziggler fan. I think he's wasted in the role he's in right now. I think he could be turned heel and become one of the more effective heels on the roster, as he's like a bouncy ball. You could bump around for all the baby faces. But, his situation is his situation. I've debated it to death. Sheamus, I don't know what you do with him. He's in nobody cares land. Rusev has a chance to rebuild himself to where he was when he had that great feud with John Cena leading into WrestleMania 31. I mean, that year that Rusev was undefeated, that's exactly how you book a heel to get over. And in the end, Rusev got over great for the first run.
Well, first guy, like you said, Ziggler, he definitely is great. He's definitely great in the ring, but I think he's getting stale. I just think he's thrown out there. He'll have a good match, but there's no character anymore with him. It's just he'll have a good match. The Ryder, they push, they stop, they push, they stop. I don't know what's going on with him. I feel like he's just another guy that they're just putting together. Now, Rusev, I think he's a money heel. I think if they put him like in a solos and just keep on pushing him to the moon, I think he definitely can be a great heel. And Sheamus, I personally love, but like you said, yes, I definitely think he is stale, and I think he's not over with anybody. But I do like him. I think he's a great talent in the ring. He's a big guy. But I don't know. I see it just like you with Sheamus.
Well, Sheamus is still collecting a healthy income, no matter how you look at it, and good for Sheamus. I'm not sure if we're missing a match there, but I know at some point, headed towards the second part of the third hour, you had that great promo between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. A little general manager heat there, a little dissension. I thought the line Mick Foley had about looking at Bryan through the back end, the wrong end of binoculars, I thought that was hilarious. Do you think we could see a little dissension between Foley and Bryan going forward, who apparently were friends up until this point in WWE land?
Yes, I definitely think so. I think that would definitely actually add some flavor to both brands. You got one feuding with one and one feuding with the other. And that's the thing, is I really hope they take the brand seriously. Like, one is one brand, the other is that brand. They really care about the ratings. They really care about the different matches and everything like that. And it's totally different and separated. And I think Daniel Bryan can do that for SmackDown. I think Mick Foley can do that for Raw. I think it definitely can be their two old entities, and I think it'll be great. And I would love to see them. Imagine them two on the mic a little bit. I think it could work great because, like they said in their promo, that they're both like underdog stories, and I think it was great. I totally think so. And I think they both married beautiful wives, like things like that. I thought that was great, and I think I could definitely see them feuding on the mic with each other and between both brands.
Does having Mick Foley back in this general manager type role bring back memories to when he shaved his head and came out in Worcester to become the general manager of WWF back in the year 2000?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't wait for SmackDown tomorrow night in Worcester to maybe do it instead of on Raw, but I guess it's close enough. But yeah, definitely, I totally agree. I just hope it goes over way better than it did then.
Well, we had a heck of a main event tonight. It was WWE World Heavyweight Champion Dean Ambrose retaining the title in a disputed finish with Seth Rollins. One of the only times I can remember the use of instant replay by a referee in a WWE matchup.
And it was 3 replays. They showed it to the ref 3 times. But to start off the match, I think the match was great. Long, but they kept the action flowing, which was good. I definitely give it to them. What did it start at 10:42, and it went to about 11:07. So you got about a 25-minute match there. But it was good. And it was a WWE Championship match, so they made it important with the time. If it was 5-10 minutes, then it wouldn't have been as important. So I definitely agree that they made the match long, but they kept us entertained. And the shoulders both pinning, I don't really like a finish like that. I think it's so cliche, but I don't know. I guess that's how you have to go into, because it's the pay-per-view match on Sunday.
Well, when we were sitting there, you were asking me what I would do. And my thought process was, geez, why not pop the audience, both on television and live, and put the title on Rollins? Because you'd have a more interesting pay-per-view main event. I think Rollins is the heel champion against the two baby faces, Ambrose and Reigns, Sunday night at Battleground would be interesting. And it would also get people talking to give them yet another reason to tune into SmackDown tomorrow night if the championship change hands, because you can usually count on a very solid television rating after a World Heavyweight Championship change, but they didn't choose to go that route. I didn't mind the double pin. I like the double pin when it's done in moderation. It was an excellent use of it here. It builds a little bit more interest towards Ambrose and Rollins issue, because who knows after Sunday if Ambrose and Rollins are even going to be in each other's orbit after the draft.
Well, I mean, the finish was what it was, but I think if you're asking fans to watch a 25-minute match, I think you need to reward them with a real winner. I think having the shoulders down like that, and just, it's like a way to get out of a match, and I don't think that's fair. You're asking a fan to watch 25 minutes of a match, and then you reward them with that. To me, that wasn't a good thing. I think they should have had a real winner, or had something happen where it's not like that, because that's just, I don't know, to me it wasn't a good finish for that kind of match. I mean, we've seen it. It just happened a few months back. I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't that good of a finish. I think they could have done something better.
Well, that's why they have 52 Raws, 52 SmackDowns, and what'll it be now? 20 pay-per-views each year in the WWE universe. The match, I thought it was slow at times. I asked the person, not you, the gentleman to my left, I said, what do you think of it? And he said, it's long. It was a very long match. I don't think every match, again, needs a clean finish as long as it's done in moderation. Once it turns into Nonsenseville, when you see disputed finishes like that on a regular basis, when it's a real problem. They treated it like a real sporting contest, and I actually thought that was refreshing. Again, if you don't see it every week, it's got to be something different to hold up, and I think that'll be a memorable match for the people that were there, because it was something that you normally wouldn't see.
I mean, you can look at it like that. I just go back to, like I was saying, I think 25 minutes and you reward the crowd and the fans that watch at home with that. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't too happy with the finish personally, but hey, that's why we both have our opinions, and that's why we're both talking about it. I think they could have done a better storyline with that, a better finish with that, but hey, we'll see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown. That's where it's going to really get good between, like you said, the drafting, which one's going to go where. Maybe they're both on the same brands. We're going to see, and I think it's going to be fun, and I'm excited for the draft, and I think you're excited for the draft. We're going to be there again in Worcester tomorrow night. It's going to be fun.
Unbelievable. Fans running out of time here. That main event, I guess, in closing, you could almost look at it as if it was background music to all the general managers and commissioners at ringside. That's up to the eye of the beholder. Again, tomorrow night we're going to be, or tonight by the time folks will be able to listen to this, we'll be headed on out to the DCU Center in Worcester. History is going to be made with the draft, and fans, if you weren't in Providence tonight, I don't know what to tell you. If you were within a driving distance, you would have got great value for your professional wrestling dollar. You missed out. Don't worry. WWE is going to be back at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, 2 days after Thanksgiving. That's right. Have the turkey on Thursday. Get up early and go out into the cold to get those $20 DVD players on Black Friday. And then Saturday, kick back and enjoy the action of WWE Live. It was not specified tonight if it'll be a Raw or a SmackDown holiday tour event. I'm sure that'll be clarified. But WWE heads back to Providence in November, and a great time will be had by all from my dear friend Dave Carter back here in the MWF universe of its own. I'm Dan Marotti. We'll speak to you soon this week. Stay tuned each and every day on the BostonWrestling.com super site, as well as all of our social media outlets. Be well. Fans, WWE Money in the Bank and Battleground are coming up, and you can see them for free on WWE Network. Click the link below to start your 30-day free trial offer and enjoy live pay-per-views, exclusive WWE programming, thousands of hours of content on demand, as well as every WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view ever offered. At its regular price of only $9.99 per month, it's a great value. Check out the awesome deals in the MWF store, where you can get a free WWE t-shirt with every order of $25 or more. We have awesome brand new WWE t-shirts, autographs, posters, DVDs, and tons more. Best of all, every penny spent goes right back into our efforts to bring you the best content in professional wrestling. Enjoying over 1,000 of our free videos on YouTube? Make a donation of any size using paypal.me/Boston Wrestling. It takes a lot of time, effort, and money to produce all of the great content we have for your enjoyment. The more folks and fans that contribute to the cause and spread the word, the more videos we'll have available for you around the world at the touch of a button. We sincerely appreciate every fan's help. If everyone donated even $1, think about what we could be able to bring you for free. It'd be unbelievable. We're bringing fans in over 30 countries, some of the best from Boston Wrestling and the Millennium Wrestling Federation, to YouTube Video on Demand, where you can rent or purchase some awesome documentary-style in-studio shoot interviews and complete MWF live events from yesteryear, all as we gear up for our 15th anniversary. Not only do you get great content you can enjoy for either a 72-hour rental or own for a lifetime, you're again helping support grassroots independent professional wrestling. Check out our in-depth production like our WrestleMania 1 group reunion that featured the Iron Sheik, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and Cowboy Bob Orton. We also have 3-hour productions featuring the Boogeyman as well as Paul Bearer. Great studio shoot interviews that feature John Cena Sr. as the co-host. Click the link below to get free previews. If you're shopping on Amazon or WWEshop.com, use our links below, as every purchase made on either website, even non-wrestling merchandise over on Amazon, earns us a small thank you from our online partners. And best of all, it does not increase your cost one single penny. Can you think of an easier way to help support indie wrestling than that? We have a really cool offer for fans that haven't used the Uber car services of yet. Use our link below and get your first ride up to $20 absolutely free. How cool is that? I don't think any cab company is going to give you a free ride. Let me tell you, not only is Uber the choice of MWF President Dr. David Reese and Vice President Oscar, they've treated me great. The rates are awesome compared to other car services. Try it out for free and see what you think. Running out of time here, folks. Continue to check out the BostonWrestling.com super site daily as we get closer to our 15th anniversary. Like us at Facebook.com/MWF Action. Follow us on Twitter at MWF2001 and subscribe to our free YouTube channel at YouTube.com/BostonWrestlingCom. Until we speak again, fans, you and yours.